Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining again. My name is Ethen Ostroff. I am hopefully not, but I am here for you, your future personal injury lawyer. If you have any questions about your particular situation, I'm happy to be here, happy to be on the phone with you, happy to walk you through the process, make sure you feel like your questions are answered. But before I get there, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're diving into some really important premises law information today. We're going to be talking today about, do I need to move out of my apartment if I sue my landlord for a personal injury case? A really commonly asked question, and it really does apply to a lot of different things. Do I need to move out of my apartment? Am I ever allowed to go back to the same business? Am I ever allowed to go back to that Walmart that I fell and broke my arm at? It's a really intriguing area of the law that is sort of gray area. But before I dive into, can I ever go back to the premises that I fell and got hurt at, click that link below. Make sure to follow along where you can subscribe and make sure that you have your future personal injury case protected, because nobody ever imagines themselves being a personal injury client. It is something that I hope you don't have to go through, but I'm happy to be there for you along the way. So, this is an interesting area. There is both the legal and the practical. The legal says that you are completely within your rights to go back to that business that you fell and broke your arm at, or to stay in your apartment if you are suing your landlord. It's a really important area of the law to understand, because so often people get hurt at the place that they live at in a way that was preventable, and they're scared to do anything about it because they don't want to get evicted. Now, here is the legal. When you live in an apartment, you have a legal contractual relationship between you, the tenant, and the landlord. And when you fall and get hurt in a way that was preventable, let's say that you're walking down your stairs and your stair splits because there's termites in it, or let's say that you're walking through your yard and there's a giant hole and you go right through it and you break your leg. Or let's say in your walking path, your apartment complex owes you a safe place to walk in and out of your apartment, and they didn't salt your driveway or your sidewalk, and you break your leg because of it. These are things that happen every day. And so often people are afraid to bring a case against their landlord because they don't want to get evicted. Now, the legal side of this is that even if you were to break your leg on a sidewalk where the ice should have been salted and scraped up, and let's say that you have 6 months left on that same lease. Legally, if you bring a case, they cannot evict you. They cannot do it by law. But what I will say about it is, yes, legally that contract between you and that landlord still is in place. There is a practical side to it. Maybe when something breaks in your apartment, they don't answer the call. Maybe they try to retaliate against you in some sort of way that ends up being difficult for you. Now, I understand it must be frustrating to go through something like this. There is both the legal and the practical. The legal is they absolutely cannot retaliate against you for bringing a personal injury case, but the practical is that they might just do it anyway because they're jerks. And if they're the kind of slumlord that would let you get hurt because you live at a tough property that they didn't take care of properly, then they might be the kind of person that would retaliate against you. So it puts people in a really tough situation. What do? Do I bring a case? Do I hire a personal injury lawyer? Or do I just move on with my life, let my broken leg heal, and do nothing about it? Now, as a personal injury lawyer, I'm always going to say it is best to speak to a personal injury lawyer about these situations. We are free to call. We work on a you get paid and then we get paid type of contract. And the initial consultation is always free. So we can tell you, hey, you do have a case here, or you don't have a case here. But most importantly, we can make sure that your questions are answered about the situation. So in terms of, do you need to move out? The answer I usually give to clients is a little bit unique. And what I would say about it is, no, you don't need to move out during that lease term, but that the lawyer can finagle it in a way that the landlord doesn't know that you're bringing a case until you're close to that lease expiring. So if you have 6 months left on your lease, I, as your attorney, might say, why don't you pack your things and get out of there just in case something goes bad? And if you can get out without breaking that lease, I would recommend you do it. So if you're month to month, I would recommend moving out, because people do things even though they legally are or aren't allowed to do it. So in terms of how I guide people on this situation, I generally say there's the legal, yeah, they can't legally evict you for this, but then there's the practical. Will they take care of you when you need some help? Will they go fix that thing you need fixed? I don't always know the answer to that. So they might be just frustrated with you that you're bringing a case, and they might not fix that thing. So I usually do recommend, if you can move out, do it. If your lease is going to expire soon, don't renew it and go somewhere else. That's the beauty of renting and not owning that house, is that you are temporarily there. So I would recommend that if you are renting, if you do get hurt in a way that's preventable, and if you have the ability to move out, I do recommend moving out of that apartment that you're going to sue that landlord for. Just because I don't want you to go through something on top of what you're already going through. It doesn't mean that they legally can retaliate against you. It just means I want to make sure that you're doing okay, that you have a place to live, that you are comfortable with the landlord that is going to be, within a contractual relationship with you. But if you continue paying rent on time, they need to continue to be your landlord and abide by their side of that contract, regardless of what's going on with your personal injury case. So the answer to the question on the landlord-tenant side of things, you definitely can remain in that apartment, but I would recommend you move out when you can. In terms of a business, you get hurt at, let's say, Walmart. Can I go back to that same Walmart? The answer is absolutely. Would I be walking around holding a sign over my head saying I just won $50,000 against Walmart for my broken arm? No, I wouldn't. Just because you'll attract unwanted attention. And people, they do irrational things constantly, especially when it comes to personal injury cases. People just, they don't understand it because they haven't gone through it. But if you've gone through something that you shouldn't have, you should bring that case. And yes, you of course can go back to that same place that you got hurt. They cannot refuse you service. And if they do, guess what? There's always another store down the street. It's not the end of the world. So if you get hurt at a restaurant, if you get hurt at a Walmart, if you get hurt at a grocery store, could they say no to you at the door if they recognize you? Yeah, sure. But they don't necessarily have a legal reason to do so. They just are doing so because they're being kind of an asshole. Let's just be honest. So, in terms of landlord-tenant, of course, you must do what is best for you, but I would recommend getting your questions answered from an injury lawyer. That landlord legally still needs to rent to you. They can't evict you due to your personal injury case, but they may not take care of you as well as they used to. So I would recommend moving out when you can. In terms of a business, I would also recommend just not drawing excess attention to yourself about it. Don't brag about it to your friends. Don't walk around screaming that you got away with one. Just, go shop. Go do what you were doing the time that you got hurt in a way you shouldn't have. They still are not the one responsible for paying you. Their insurance company is. And if you remember that, then you don't have to take it so personal, and they don't have to take it personal, but we only can control what we can control. So, thanks for joining us today on this another episode of Premises Area Law Content. My name is Ethen Ostroff. If you want to hit that subscribe button, I would so appreciate it. Follow us along and make sure that you protect your future personal injury case. I'm happy to be there for you if you ever need me. Click that free consultation link below. Hopefully you never need me, but I'm here for you if you do. Thanks so much.